The Bible says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Jesus said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. The truth is not something. The truth is someone. That someone is Jesus Christ. And when you know him, you have the truth, and you walk in the truth, and you joy in the truth, and you rejoice with truth that is unspeakable and unshakable, because Christ is the solid rock.
Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining me on another video of the episodes for Jacob's latest troubles. Hopefully you can hear me a lot better now. As you can see, just right here I've got a nice new microphone. You're most likely also going to hear my dogs a lot better, because every time I start recording they instantly want to get involved. As with animals, what else do we expect, really? It's been quite some time. I have done, and I'm in the process of doing quite a lot of the eschatology parts on the channel. But today I thought, well, I'll start making headway on the, it's called the Great Unwashed Left. The Great Unwashed Left Wing. They will call themselves a movement. They are not a movement. They are actually very much, a bunch of morons. And we are going to see how moronic these morons who are pro-Gazan jihadi terrorism are actually showing themselves to be. Today, this is part one. The date is the 5th of July 2024, and there has been a rather large amount of things happening in the world, unfortunately and fortunately. One of the greatest bits of fantastic news, obviously, was the saving of the captives, 4 captives being held by the filth of Hamas, which, stupidly enough, still incurred the wrath of the left unwashed. It's absolutely astonishing how these people who have been taken by Hamas, which is a war crime, they've then been saved by the IDF, which then that has been called a war crime. This day and age is truly, truly, truly quite insane. It's what's going on now is just absolutely beyond reckoning. So today we're going to have a look at quite a few videos. I'm chunking my videos down to make them shorter now. By making them shorter, the videos are actually going to be a lot less in the terms of time. So hopefully they won't be as long as they have been in the past. Thank you for those who have watched my videos. So let's have a look at this video first of all and see how the Great Unwashed Left are acting. These are a collection of videos which are basically just sums it up beautifully.
Workers' Party, a socialist alternative to Sunak and Starmer, for a socialist intifada.
Yeah.
What's a socialist intifada?
If I'm being honest with you, I just got this at the stand over there.
Okay.
I don't actually know the definition of the word intifada.
Okay.
But, I mean...
Do any of you know the definition of the word intifada?
So here we have a London-based protest where a unwashed lefty has been given a placard with the word intifada on it. Of course, this individual has absolutely no idea what the word intifada means. If they did, I can imagine it would affect some but not all of these morons. It is really quite something how a lot of these words, a lot of very jihad backed or jihad enthused words like intifada are actually being trotted out by these morons.
So I'm not sure about the river, but the sea is definitely the Mediterranean Sea, where Palestine has a coast on it. From the river, I'm not sure though.
Do you know which river and which sea we are talking about?
En fait, c'est l'enclave, la bande de Gaza est entourée par la mer Rouge d'un côté et par une rivière de l'autre, puis c'est de ce territoire-là qui parle.
Mer Rouge et la rivière, je sais plus exactement.
That's the limits of the frontier of Palestine. It starts from the river to the sea.
Do you know the name of the sea or the river?
I don't remember. I don't.
So a lot of these people are coming out with absolute rubbish, basically saying, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Well, let's have a little bit of a sort of history lesson. We've already done it, but the world has completely forgotten. They don't like it. For over 3,000 years, the Jews have been within the land of Israel. Started off as the Canaanite tribes lands. Now, when I say Canaanite, I of course mean the general tribes which were there. So the Hivites, the Hittites, the Jebusites, the Canaanites, and so on and so forth. So basically, they were the first indigenous people to be in that position in the world. Then the Jews have come along, and then they have basically appropriated the land through armed conflict with all the tribes, and then they've absorbed some of the tribes. Some other tribes have been destroyed. Why? That is covered in Exodus, and basically God gave the reason to the Jews to do what they did. Now, from then on, there has always been a Jewish presence within the land, even during the times for when it split into the two sort of kingdoms. You have Judah and Israel. Even though you had the Babylonians taking a lot of the Jewish people away, the Romans coming in, so on and so forth. Even when the Ottoman Turks came in, Israel, the land where Israel is, has always been Jewish for over 3,000 years. The Palestinians don't exist because that was a term deemed by Yasser Arafat, the arch-terrorist of the Palestinian Liberation Organization. So basically, when you've got these idiots going on, from river to the sea, Palestine will be free, well, Palestine's never really existed. If you look at the coins in circulation in the lands of Israel for when it was being called Mandate Palestine, it always had like a Palestinian penny or whatever the currency actually was, and then it would always state Land of Israel underneath, and that was from for many years. So it is so funny how these idiots, they get asked, right, which is the river and which is the sea. And so many of them have no idea.
Hi, so as it turned out, hate, anti-Semitism made its way to Sundance Film Festival, where people are calling for a ceasefire now, which is exactly what we had on October 6th before Hamas slaughtered all these Jews.
From the river to the sea, Palestine needs to be free from the occupation, which is illegal.
What's the river?
I forgot the river's name,
sea?
but the sea is the Red Sea.
So where is the river and the sea that everybody's chanting about?
I think it's the Black Sea and the river on the other side of Gaza.
Okay, so it's the Black Sea and the river on the other side of Gaza.
The Palestinian genocide, it's just awful.
What about the hostages? Do you know about the hostages?
Unfortunately, I'm not that educated about that part.
The occupation is illegal. Even chocolate is not allowed. Wedding dresses are not allowed. It's been this way for over 15 years.
It's a genocide. It's not about Hamas. It's not.
How is it not about Hamas?
It's not about Hamas. Isn't even there.
Isn't where? Hamas isn't where?
Even in Gaza.
Hamas is not in Gaza. The Jews are in Gaza.
The Jews.
Are there hostages in Gaza right now?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I got this from someone else.
Somebody gave it to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what it means?
No.
Like, what are you demonstrating for or against?
Against the occupation of Palestine.
So support for the Black Sea to the other river to be liberated.
To be liberated from the occupation.
Does Israel have the right to exist at all?
I think the state of Israel should be dissolved.
So do you know what happened to women on October 7th?
I've heard things. I've also heard that they're not confirmed.
Not confirmed. The rape incidences are not confirmed?
Not sure.
What about the hostages?
Fire now!
Are there any hostages?
Fire now!
So this is it. A demonstration at Sundance Film Festival calling for the genocide of Jews. As you can see, some of the people don't even know what it is that they're talking about. Our youth have been poisoned to such a level that blatant anti-Semitism is allowed. And it's just unfortunate. So we're all calling for freedom in the region. This is not the way to do it.
What this lady does is absolutely fantastic. As you can see, it just shows how stupid the Great Unwashed Left wing movement, or actually we'll call them what they are. They're a recession. They're not moving forward. They're an absolute they're an absolute recession, and it shows on actually how stupid they are and how much they are believing of the lies from Hamas. Just shows it perfectly.
What would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU is doing.
Is there something that NYU is doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU is doing? About what? About Israel. Why are we protesting here?
Palestine will be free!
I wish I was more educated. I'm not either.
Oh.
I came from Columbia. I was there up at Columbia, and we came down. They said NYU students needed our support. So I came down. I heard there's lots of cops. Some people were saying it was getting dangerous.
So here we go again. We've got a great unwashed left-wing brain-dead moron who has absolutely no idea for what they're actually protesting against. It is really quite astonishing. A lot of these people are not able to articulate in any fashion what they're actually doing. And because they have absolutely no idea what they're actually protesting for, you've got many who can't geographically place the river and the sea. You've got people that fully believe that the IDF are just this evil entity that are mercilessly bombing people, and Hamas are absolutely loving this. However, links have now been established that Hamas and the anti-Semitic groups and backers are actually funding a lot of the moronic students from universities who are supposed to be the future of the world. Good Lord, don't we all have a worrying time ahead of us when these little morons actually go out into the world and try to do what they're supposed to do. It is quite astonishing.
I'm Zach Sage Fox, and welcome to a Martyrs Memorial Day. Let's celebrate. Do you have respect for our military, or?
Not really. I think the military's horrible. The military, no.
Yeah. Nah, not really. There's a lot more talk right now about the martyrs of Hamas.
Huge respect for them.
Really? Do you have more respect for them than our own military?
Yes. Nah, America's mad honestly.
Do you think that on this Memorial Day, we should also be honoring Hamas? Of course.
Yeah, definitely.
So we should celebrate the Hamas military too?
Yeah.
The rape that was uncovered on October 7th, they beheaded babies. They GoPro'd a lot of their own murders.
No, that's not true.
No, I've seen it. Twitter.
Yeah, they did. They were posted them chopping the heads off. I've seen videos.
I didn't know that.
Do you think we should be celebrating the martyrs of Palestine?
Yes.
Hamas.
Yes.
Show me things that Hamas has said about Jews in their charter. Article 7, the day of judgment will not come until Muslims fight the Jews, killing the Jews. All Jews everywhere must die. Does that change your thoughts a little bit?
Oh, no, honestly.
Wow.
You know,
as a Jew, that's upsetting.
I can't speak for Hamas.
No, what I just showed you, that's Hamas speaking for Hamas.
Wasn't it their land first? I don't know. I don't know the history on it personally. Don't want to do this interview anymore. I feel like I've proven my point enough.
Well, you just said you didn't know anything. People are celebrating their military and they have no love for our own.
That's interesting, I'm not gonna lie.
The U.S. military has a long history of genocide.
What about the Hamas's military? Do you think they're genocidal?
I don't know why it matters.
Well, that's our show. God bless America and not Hamas.
Yeah, again, it just shows how moronic a lot of these things are. So you've got a lot of young left-wing, great unwashed idiots who are basically there completely and utterly against their own military. Now, they're, regardless of how you might perceive your military, in the world in which we live, there are forces of evil driven demonically and so on and so forth, but there are also forces of evil against countries such as America and the West. They will have absolutely no problem in trying to massacre the inhabitants of places like America. All of the Muslim what's deemed as an extremist, and I leave it in sort of quotation marks. I don't normally like doing that, but as Islamic extremism isn't as extreme as you think, and we'll be discussing that on the other playlist. So basically, you've got a military that's there to actually protect you, and that's it. If the military then going to attack other countries and stuff like that, well, you've got to blame the politicians because the military have to follow. They've got no say in the matter. So basically what we have here is these young American idiots who are basically saying, oh, I'm against my military. Oh, but I've got great respect for people like Hamas. Hamas who want to destroy the very same people who have respect for them. It is quite astonishing.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Yeah. Can you tell me which river and which sea we're talking about here?
This is you've caught me on the spot, and I'm really horrible when asking questions. But basically, the river and the sea that border both sides of Palestine, where Israel is right now.
There you go. Once again. Same again. Absolute insanity of the Great Unwashed, who don't think, they don't articulate, and they don't sort of wonder, why am I actually standing here with a stolen flag, which is deemed the Palestinian flag, but as we know on this channel, the Palestinians don't exist. The flag actually comes from a subsection of Arabia, and the mongrel Muslims that make up the Gazans and the mongrel Muslims in Judea and Samaria. Basically, they are one of the largest groups of terror drip-fed people. They are completely and utterly radicalized, and it is a very, very difficult thing to de-radicalize people. Very difficult. It can be done, but there's always that slight hint that something could still be festering away in their brains. And they've had this for decades. Absolute decades.
Why should the university be obligated to provide food to people who've taken over a building?
Well, first of all, we're saying that they're obligated to provide food to students who pay for a meal plan here.
But you mentioned that there was a request that food and water be brought in, unless I misunderstood.
To allow it to be brought in. I mean, well, I guess it's ultimately a question of what kind of community and obligation Columbia feels it has to its students. Do you want students to die of dehydration and starvation or get severely ill, even if they disagree with you? If the answer is no, then you should allow basic, I mean, it's crazy to say because we're on an Ivy League campus, but this is like basic humanitarian aid we're asking for. Like, could people please have a glass of water?
So don't want to give too much time to this individual. Her name is an absolute joke. I'll leave you to watch a very good sort of reaction, either reel or video, where Ben Shapiro just wets himself watching this stupid idiot. This was happening, obviously, for when the university students in America were basically taking over whole buildings. Now, these unwashed lefties are so stupid, even though they're at university. And this girl who's got a PhD, likewise, I have a PhD. I have a PhD in astrophysics. This girl has got a PhD in absolute nonsense, which has no meaning or basis to life generally, but still, we'll carry on with that. So you got this young lefty brain dead moron who basically was part of a capturing and occupation of a building. The building basically being a university administration building, and then so these brain dead dumbasses, what do? They go in without any food or water, and they're looking to occupy a building for days or possibly weeks. It's absolutely hilarious. It just shows how unthinking these lefty morons actually are. There we go. 2 more videos to go. This is absolutely fantastic. This lady really sums up beautifully. You throw in some bullshit video footage taken from Gaza, which we do actually have proof that it's actually manufactured, and basically, the children aren't injured. They're actually laughing. People are laughing. Dead people are moving their heads. But the Great Unwashed Left, who don't think and haven't got a brain cell amongst the whole lot of them, do not even consider it being fallacy. They obviously are hook, line and sinker thinking it's true. She sums up beautifully, and then the last video afterwards is absolutely fantastic, because this is what all the mothers should do to their stupid, moronic, lefty children. Knock some sense into them. Thank you very much for being with me today. I hope the video hasn't gone on too long. I hope the sound is a lot better with the new microphone. Basically, yeah, I shall catch you soon on the channel when I release either a video again on Jacob's Trouble or basically the eschatology. Thank you, and have a good day.
Wow, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant marketing campaign from us. Really, you did it again. First with Free Palestine, then with From the River to the Sea, and now with All Eyes on Rafah. Throw in some shockingly horrific imagery for good measure and get it trending before the truth has the chance to surface or even matter. And you've got it. Like the truth that came out today, that the baby that the world just saw was killed by an explosion from one of Hamas's stockpiles, not from Israel's Hamas-targeted airstrike. Gee, I wonder what those weapons were doing in the middle of a safe zone. A great lesson in war marketing. It doesn't matter what they were doing there. The truth does not win out, because it's nuanced and boring. But a good slogan with the potential to go viral and become a trend, that hits. So can us Jews take this lesson and come up with a new slogan so that we can actually control the media like the world thinks we do, please? Whatever we come up with needs to perfectly fit into Gen Z's simplistic thinking that this is about good versus evil, and that the good side must be the side with the higher body count. Right? Because in all their naive idealism, Gen Z can't fathom the truth that Hamas murders its own people to kill Jews and win public favor. And that the only reason why Israelis aren't dying is because of the Iron Dome. Because unlike Hamas, we protect our civilians. We're not willing to let our people die just to win the media war. So how do you convince people that the good ones are the ones staying alive? I honestly don't know. Please comment below your sexy slogan suggestions, because I'm at a loss.
Video of the confrontation. The woman recognized her son as one of the protesters throwing rocks at police. She made very sure to voice her disappointment when she found him on the street. You can see her yelling and striking her son. She chased him home, and as he walked away, trying to pull the mask off the face. That's what you would call hands-on parental supervision, as Chip Reed said at the beginning. Mama, don't play. But I was watching the video yesterday. It was very tense watching it. I kept thinking at any moment we're going to see something very, very tragic there. So she took